Hi, Dave Elser, and welcome to my next Chore Chat. I'm actually out here at my brother's farm in Bridgewater Township, Ohio, as he's wrapping up his first field for his fall harvest. By the way, if you're out there traveling in the country during fall harvest, just be patient with the farmers as they're traveling to and from their fields. Slow down, just be patient. They want to get home safely to their families, just like you all do. But before I begin, I have a quick question. How many of you all gone to leadership training and learned about leadership styles, right? I'm sure a lot of people have. Hopefully a lot of people have. And those styles are scrolling on your screen right now. But how many of you heard of something called followership styles? Probably not very many people. It's actually only came about around 1985 from a professor at Carnegie Mellon University. His name is Dr. Robert Kelley. And he wrote an article in praise of followers. And then he also wrote a book called The Power of Followership. And I'm going to talk a little bit about those 5 styles that he mentions in his book and in his article. And the first style, before I get into that, there's 2 aspects to his metrics on determining where you are at in the followership style. And that is engagement, whether you are passive or whether you're active. And then also critical thinking. Are you an independent thinker or are you a dependent thinker? So those are the 2 key aspects of his followership matrix. But so let's talk about the first one, and that is passive followers. This is what everybody is familiar with. This is what they call sheep, right? And a farmer might think a sheep is really good at following the herd, and the sheep might think, well, we're being united, and we're staying together, we're keeping safe, right? And I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a combine actually going by. So, yep, not my brother's though. But and the next one is conformist. A conformist, they might be actively engaged, but they're not good at being an independent thinker. And when I think of conformists out here on the farm, I think of obedient cows. They're very loyal. A cow will think that it's very loyal and very reliable and very productive. But a farmer might think that they are productive, but they're not good at asking good questions, and they're just not good at challenging the status quo, so to speak. They can't really think for themselves too much. In the middle of the matrix is something called a pragmatist. I hope I said that word right, because that word's a tongue twister for me. And this individual is kind of playing it safe. They are independent thinkers sometimes, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're actively engaged, sometimes they're not. But they're very adaptable. They might think that they're very adaptable. The farm animal that I think of when I think of a pragmatist is a chicken, right? They're off there kind of aloof, running around and kind of doing their own thing. But the next one is an alienated follower. The farm animal I think of this is a goat. I usually think of a goat. Very independent, out there grazing, doing their own thing. The goat might think I'm very independent and I'm very efficient. But the farmer might think, well, they're not really good at being part of the herd. And the last one is what Dr. Robert Kelley calls effective follower. And this is the one that he kind of addresses in his book. We all should kind of merge in towards being an effective follower. And the farm animal that I think of when I think of effective follower is a busy bee. They're dutifully following the queen bee. They're supporting the hive, pollinating, collecting, building that delicious honey, right? And the bee, they're good at challenging the status quo. They're great at independent thinking, and they're very, very engaged. In the workplace, you might think of that person as a star performer, right? A top tier, top talent. So that's a little basic introduction to the followership styles that were created by Dr. Robert Kelley. But if you're interested in learning more about those styles, check out his literature. And if you're interested in learning more about how can you leverage leadership and what I call smart followership, because I believe it takes influential leaders plus what I call smart followers in order to equal organizational success. And if you're out there wanting to move into that leadership ranks, Doing the Chores, my book, Doing the Chores, can help you out. So I encourage you to check it out. So thanks for listening to my Chore Chat, and have a great fall. Talk to you soon, everyone.